श्री वृंदावन धाम में श्री कृष्ण बलराम मंदिर के बलराम हॉल में उपस्थित है। हमारा हर रविवार ये प्रश्न और उत्तर के सेशन चल रही है। So we here assembled in Sri Vrindavan Dham, Krishna Balaram Mandir, Balaram Hall for the weekly question and answer session. So ऑनलाइन में है और जो यहाँ पर भी उपस्थित है प्रश्न पूछ सकता है हिंदी में या इंग्लिश में। हरे कृष्णा। तो भगवान के बारे में, भक्ति के बारे में और भक्त के बारे में पूछताछ कर सकता है। So you can ask questions regarding the Supreme Lord, regarding devotional service and the devotees of the Lord. Krishna is saying Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidi paripatena prashna seve upadekshanti degyanam gyaninas tattvadarshanaha. That one may approach a tattvadarshanaha, a devotee who has realized the absolute truth, and then one may, in a submissive way, in a service spirit attitude, ask questions, and then he will reply. तो कृष्ण भगवद गीता में कहते हैं अर्जुन को कि आप भगवान के बारे में जो परम तत्व है, तो भक्त के पास जो तत्वदर्शिना है, जिन्होंने परम सत्य भगवान के अनुभव किया है, उनके पास जाके विनम्र भाव में रहते हुए, सेवा भाव में रहते हुए पूछताछ कर सकता है और ये दिव्य ज्ञान दे देंगे। So it is important that we are under guidance in spiritual life. And even in material world, we can see that we always need guidance, first from the parents, and then from the teacher in the school, and then if one has a job, then one has to be always under guidance. तो हम इस भौतिक जगत में देख सकता है, तो बचपन से सबसे पहले सर्वप्रथम पिताजी माताजी मार्गदर्शन देता है, ज्ञान देता है, जिससे हम रह सकते हैं, जिससे हम आगे जा सकता है इस भौतिक जगत में, और विशेष करके आध्यात्मिक मार्ग में प्रवेश करने के लिए। तत्पश्चात विद्यालय जाता है बच्चे, तो वहाँ पर भी अध्यापक हैं, और इसके बाद जब जॉब तो के लिए जा रहा है पुरुष स्त्री, तो वहाँ पर भी तो मालिक है, ये बताएंगे कि क्या करना है क्या ना करना है। तो ऐसे करते हुए हम रह सकते हैं इस भौतिक जगत में, और लेकिन साथ ही साथ जिज्ञासा करना है, जिससे हम आगे जा सकते हैं भक्ति मार्ग में। Actually, when we have obtained the human form of life, so it is the responsibility of the human being to try to make advancement in spiritual life. Human life is meant for self-realization. शास्त्र में उल्लेख किया है, कहा गया है कि जब मनुष्य शरीर प्राप्त होता है, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कर्तव्य यह है कि देहधारी जीव मनुष्य शरीर में उनको प्रयास करना है आध्यात्मिक मार्ग आगे जाने के लिए। तो आत्मा साक्षात्कार ये परम लक्ष्य है इस भौतिक शरीर में, इस मनुष्य शरीर में। तो इसके लिए तो जिज्ञासा तो करना ही पड़ेगा और प्रयास करना आगे जाने के लिए। So the animals, the birds, ultimately they are also jivas and they are also servants of Krishna, but they cannot inquire about the absolute truth. तो पशु पक्षी के जो जीव है, जो जिसमें पशु पक्षी के शरीर में है, ये जीव परम तत्व के बारे में जिज्ञासा नहीं कर सकता है। सिर्फ जब मनुष्य शरीर में है तब जिज्ञासा कर सकता है। So therefore we have to endeavor to advance in spiritual life when we have the human form of life. Of course, then we have to follow the rules and regulations also of this world. We have to be situated according to Varna Ashram also. Everyone has to be in one Varna and one Ashram. तो इस मनुष्य शरीर में तो जिज्ञासा करना आध्यात्मिक मार्ग आगे जाने के लिए, साथ ही साथ तो वर्ण आश्रम के अनुसार हमको चलना है। हर व्यक्ति, पुरुष या स्त्री हो, एक वर्ण में होना चाहिए और एक आश्रम में होना चाहिए, तब आगे जा सकता है। Any question or no question? कोई प्रश्न है? Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Bhuktarang yakitapasam Sarvalokameshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvam Shantim Richati. That one who understands that Krishna, Bhuktarang Yagatapasam, he is the beneficiary of all activities, all yagyas, all austerities. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He's the proprietor of everything actually. Everything comes from Krishna, so everything belongs to Krishna. Maheshwar, Maha Ishwar, the greatest controller, the greatest proprietor, that is Krishna. In the material world, so we may be temporarily we may have some land, some belongings, but we should understand that ultimately everything belongs to Krishna. Suridam Sarvabhutanam, and is the best friend of all the living entities. Krishna in his expanded form as Paramatma is in everyone's heart. And is always trying to help us. Gyatva mam shantim richati. One who is understanding this, shantim, he can achieve peace. And in the material world, actually, everyone wants to be peaceful, everyone wants to be happy. So the formula is by taking shelter of Krishna, then we may attain that peace. And then one is properly situated. Jivera sopoy Krishnera nityadas. That is the constitutional position of the living entity to serve Krishna. तो कृष्ण भगवद गीता में कहता है, भुक्तरंग यज्ञापसम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम, सब कुछ जो हम करता है ये कृष्ण के लिए करना है। यज्ञानुष्ठान होता है, यज्ञ वाय विष्णु, विष्णु या कृष्ण के लिए करना है। और इसके बाद तपस्या कृष्ण के लिए करना है, जिससे हम आगे जा सकते भक्ति मार्ग में। सर्वलोक महेश्वरम, कृष्णा सबके उद्गम है, स्रोत है, सब कुछ कृष्ण का ही है वास्तव में। कुछ समय के लिए जब इस भौतिक जगत में है, हम कह सकते हैं ये हमारी ज़मीन है, ये हमारे घर है, संपत्ति है, लेकिन सिर्फ कुछ समय के लिए, और वास्तविक सब कुछ कृष्ण का ही है। अपना शरीर भी सब कुछ कृष्ण का ही है। तो और कृष्णा सूर्यदाम सर्वभूतनम, सबसे प्रिय मित्र कृष्ण ही है, हमेशा हमारे साथ है, परमात्मा के रूप में सबके दिल में उपस्थित है, विराजमान है। पशु पक्षी के भी और मार्गदर्शन भी देना चाहता है कृष्ण हमको, अंतर्यामी चैत्य गुरु के रूप में। क्योंकि बद्ध जीव तो ना ही सुन सकता है ना ही पहचान सकता है परमात्मा को। इसलिए गुरु जी जो भगवान की प्रतिनिधि है प्रकट हो जाता है कृष्ण की कृपा से, जिससे हम उनसे पूछताछ कर सकता है, जिससे हम आगे जा सकते हैं भक्ति मार्ग में। तो ये जो ये समझ सकता है तो ये शांति मिल सकता है। और सबको तो आनंद चाहिए, शांति चाहिए। तो जब कृष्ण केंद्र में है तो आनंद अनुभव कर सकता है, क्योंकि कृष्ण परम आनंद के स्रोत है, और शांति भी मिल सकता है, और दुख जो होता है सहन कर सकता है।
Hare Krishna. Dear Prabhu, in spite of hearing a lot, there is a tendency to still identify with gross and subtle body. How do we completely remain aloof from that tendency?
Yes, so it is not easy to be always situated on the transcendental platform of the soul, Atma Tattva. Because in the beginning stage, one is still under the modes of material nature. So therefore one is still identifying with the gross body, the subtle body, and one is not properly situated. So we have to tolerate our position and we have to be patient. Utsanishadharya tatta karma parvartanat sangatyagar sato vrite sadbhir bhaktiya prasiddhati. So Rupa Goswami has explained, one has to associate with the sadhus, sato vrite. And then we can engage in devotional activities, but we must be always very enthusiastic and fixed and very, very patient. Because it will take some time to become free from the modes of material nature. It will take some time to purify our consciousness, our heart, from all impurities. So ultimately we simply have to be patient. And so it is only a question of time till we can achieve perfection.
Could you suggest some prayer or meditation before we begin our japa?
Some prayers or meditation before we chant our japa. Yes. In the most simple way we say Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. But even you can do more. For example, you may chant Mangala Charan, Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, and so on. Or just a simple prayer, Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadaliye, Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Offering prayer to Guru, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to Sisi Radha and Krishna and all the Vaishnavas, so that we can chant nicely. But there are also verses also in glorification of the holy names which we may chant, or even Mahaprabhu has given Shikshashtakam, Chetudharpanamajanam Bhavamahadavagnini Vapanam, and so on. Trinadapi Sunichena Tororapi Saishnunamani Namanina Kirtaniya Sadahari. That one should be very humble, tolerant, and give all respect to others. In such a state one can chant the holy names. And with the mood, Nanadam, Najanam, Nasundarim, I do not want anything. I don't want any janam, any followers, dhanam, any wealth, sundarim or beautiful women. I simply want to be engaged in devotional service. And then also Mahaprabhu said, Ayinanda tanuja kinkaram, showing the mood that I am Krishna, I am eternal servant, please keep me at your lotus feet. And then one has to cry out also to Krishna, please help me to chant your holy names nicely. So, and then we also pray to Mahaprabhu because he is most merciful, even more merciful than Krishna. Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. So, as freely he has given the holy names to everyone. And so he has given also the Shikshashtakam prayers, so by doing that, then we may have the proper mood and then we may chant properly. So, and of course we have to remember the spiritual master, the saintly devotees who are properly engaged in devotional service, and we pray to them, and then we may be able to chant better the holy names.
Why did Srila Prabhupada not allow Vrindavan for Grihasthas? And why are many ISKCON Grihasthas living in Vrindavan if Srila Prabhupada did not allow?
Prabhupada, according to time, place and circumstances, he gave some recommendations. And so not that he didn't allow any grihasthas here, but he was saying that in Vrindavan one should live just like the Goswamis. And he was saying if necessary, then if possible, then the brahmacharis and sannyasis should manage if possible. But we can see that many times it is not possible. Even Prabhupada's time there are some sannyasis there. Even there was one sannyasi, Harikesh Maharaj. He was president. But then things were not going on so nicely. And then Prabhupada, he told one Grihastha devotee, you should go to Vrindavan and you should become president. You go there and I will come after a few months and you don't say anything to anybody. When I come back, I will arrange everything. So then Prabhupada came to Vrindavan and then the devotee Dhananjay Prabhu, he was here and just in the background seeing everything is going on. And Prabhupada had asked him also to stay in the Goshala and make a mukut business there. And but then he wanted him and he was thinking he would be better president and he was a Grihastha. And then he told Harikesh Maharaj, you should go and preach, you're sannyasi, you don't stay here. You should go. But he was saying, no, Prabhupada, I think I can manage. And Prabhupada said, no, you have to go now, you go to preach. And then he had to follow. And then one Grihastha was here, President Dhananjaya. So Prabhupada was a very practical person, and ideal is maybe to have sannyasis and brahmacharis maintain everything. That is maybe ideal, but it's not always practical, especially in the big society and where we want to accommodate or help everyone. So like in Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, he has established many mats, Gaudiya Mat, and there usually the sannyasis and brahmacharis only are staying. But then Prabhupada, when he started the temple, so he had householders also to help. And then ultimately even they were more steady in doing the seva of managing. And but then Prabhupada, he said that the Grihasthas, they should be just like sannyasis here. They should be very renounced, simple living and high thinking. So that was Prabhupada's instruction ultimately. And then you have to see time, place and circumstances. The things have changed. Before everything was very, very simple in Vrindavan and everyone was living very, very austere. The brahmachari, sannyasi and householders. Now the things have changed. So many people are coming here, so many devotees have also come. And then so many facilities are there. I mean, we can see AC here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ACs. Before there were no ACs here, not even one in the brahmachari ashram, no air cooler even. So now all the facilities are there, so we have to see time, place and circumstances because that's how the things have developed and then everyone is getting used to it. So we have to go with according to time, place and circumstances. But basically still, simple living, high thinking, that would be ideal. But what to do, we have to see. And the main thing is that we have to try to have Krishna in the center and to try to become Krishna conscious, somehow or the other.
I wanted to know that in ISKCON Vrindavan, what seva can one render to the deities if one is not even first initiated? Garlands, flower jewelry and flower outfits are made by Matajis. Does that also require initiation, and can gents also participate in this seva?
Yes, anyone who comes to Vrindavan can do some seva. There's so much opportunity for seva. And for the deities also, yes, cleaning the pots may be there, or cleaning the temple room. For the male devotees, for female devotees, making garlands or helping with flower outfit may be there. That is more for the ladies, not for the man. But then ultimately also just to be in front of the deities and taking part during the Artik, or there's a Kanda Kirtan Mandali chanting the holy names, that is also seva. That is glorifying Krishna by chanting the holy names. That is giving pleasure to Mahaprabhu, to Krishna, so that anyone can come and join the chanting of the holy names. But flower seva, that is more for the ladies. Whereas for the man, nearby we have a Goshala. They can go to the Goshala and they can clean the Goshala. They can maybe take care of the cows also in some way. So there's, because by nature everyone is servant of Krishna. So there's always seva. For anybody who comes here, there will be seva.
If soul is immutable, according to Bhagavad Gita 2.25, that means it has to merge with Brahman, as soul doesn't have a form. But it contradicts the fact that soul is insoluble, BG 2.24.
No, actually the soul has a form. But in the beginning, in the conditioned state, so it is just like a seed. You may have a mango seed. So if you put the mango seed in the ground, you give water, it will sprout, and then the mango tree will come. So similarly, the soul is there. In the beginning, it is just like seed-like form. But the roop, the vigraha, the form of the jiva is there. It is there. It simply has to be developed by engaging in Krishna consciousness. Then it will manifest under the guidance of the advanced devotees by the mercy of the Lord. So, by nature the jiva is eternal. Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge in personal form. But it is anuchittattva. It is very infinitesimal, whereas Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha and is the source of everything, and is Vibhu, is great, asimit, he is unlimited. So that is the difference between Krishna and the jiva. But the jiva, every jiva has actually a personal form and a personal service or relationship with the Supreme Lord, either Krishna or Ram or Vishnu. But it has to be manifested, it has to be developed by engaging in devotional service. But the soul by nature is eternal, that is there. And by nature it is full of bliss.
Prabhuji, please tell some prayers or shlokas from Bhagavatam which we can chant every day in front of the Lord.
Yes, there are many beautiful verses in glorification of Krishna or Srimati Radharani, Krishna Balaram, Gonitai, which we may chant in front of the deities in the Bhagavatam or in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, or in the books given by the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis or their followers. Many verses are there which may chant. For example, for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, most famous verse is there, Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratishe Namaha. I have obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nam Mahavadanyaya, who is most magnanimous, merciful. He is giving Krishna prem, provided we follow his instructions, provided we chant the holy names. The Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then from the Srimad Bhagavatam in glorification of Mahaprabhu, Krishna Vanam Tisa Krishnam Sangha Pangastapasadam Yagya Sankirtana Prayaya Jante Some Dasaha. This one of the 9 Yogendras, the sons of Rishabdev, so who are great yogis, sannyasis, devotees. So they are speaking to Maharaj Nimi. And so in this particular verse, Karabhajan Muni, one of the Yogendras, is offering prayer to Mahaprabhu. Krishna Vanam Tisha Krishnam Sangapangasta Parshadam. So Mahaprabhu, so and the Yajante Sumedha, so those who are intelligent, they will worship Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord. And he's Krishna himself, but his form is Akrishna. He's not blackish. He's golden. And because he's absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Jiva Goswami, now the great scholar, he has given a verse in this connection. Antar Krishna Vahir Gaura Dashitan Rivai Bhavam Sankitanadyasma Krishna Chaitanya Ashritaha. I take shelter of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Who is inside is blackish, is Krishna, because he's Krishna. He's actually Krishna. Antar Krishna Bahaya Gaura. But externally is Gaura, because he has taken the complexion and mood of Srimati Radharani. So he's accompanied by his devotees. As in this verse, Krishna Varamtisa Krishna Sangha Pangasta Parshadam. And then what is he doing? Yagya Sankirtana Prayar. He's always chanting these holy names, the Maha Mantra. So therefore, intelligent persons, they will take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the next verse is explaining Dhyayam Sadabhabishtadoham Tirtaspadam Shivavirin Chanutam Sharanyam Pritatyaham Praptapatipolam Bande Mahapurusate Charanaravindam. I'm offering obeisance to the Mahapurush, Vande Mahapurusate Charanaravindam. Let me offer my obeisances to the lotus feet of that Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dhyayam Sadabhabivas. Dhyayam Sada. So even the great sages, and we should, so he's saying we should try to always remember Dhyayam Sada Mahaprabhu. So by doing that, then all the impurities in the heart are removed, and Abhishtadoham is fulfilling all our desires to make advancement in spiritual life, even if you have some desires to be properly situated in this world, so that he will also help to fulfill. And so therefore, even the great sages like Shiva and Virinchi, they are taking shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by taking shelter of his lotus feet, which are just like a boat, by which we can cross the Bhav Sagar, the ocean of material existence. So many other verses are there in glorification of Mahaprabhu. Anandalilamaya vigrahaya hemabda divachavi sundaraya tasmai mahaprema pradaya chaitanya chandraya nama namaste. We offer obeisances to Chaitanya Chandra, another name of Mahaprabhu. Anandalilamaya vigrahaya. So his transcendental form is there and is always engaged in blissful, wonderful pastime. And his complexion, Hemabda, Divisundaraya, very, very beautiful golden form is there. And so, other verses are there also in glorification of Mahaprabhu. Practically, almost unlimited verses are there in glorification of him. And then Nityananda Prabhu, who is so is no different from Balaram, is the elder brother of Mahaprabhu, as Balaram is the elder brother of Krishna. So also verses are there. Nityananda Hom Nomi Sarvananda Karamparam Harinama Pradam Devam Avaduta Shiromanim. So he's also the Lord, but he came also as a devotee just like Mahaprabhu. But he was known as a Navadut. A Navadut is a very elevated person, but is not following all the rules and regulations which you may have to follow as a practicing devotee. But is highly advanced. So these personalities are not following all the rules and regulations, but they're highly advanced. They are known as Avadut. So it's the foremost of all the Avadutas. So we should take shelter of him. We offer obeisances to him. Sarvananda Karamparam. So he will give all transcendental knowledge because he's engaged in the devotional service of Mahaprabhu and Krishna. And he will give at that place of the service of the Lord. Harinama Pradam Devam. Harinam, and he was also distributing Harinam. Upon the order of Mahaprabhu, told him he should preach, he should give the holy names wherever you go, and to as many people as possible. So he was doing that. And then, so for Balaram, some verses are there. Namaste Haladara, Namaste Mushalayuda, Namaste Ravadikanta, Namaste Bhaktavatsalaha, Namaste Darindara, Namaste Balam Shrishta Parambara, Namaste Stu Ehimam Krishna Purvaja. So Krishna Purvaja. So Krishna Purva Ja. So he appeared before Krishna. Balaram is the elder brother, Dauji. So we offer respect to him. Namaste Haladara. So he's known to sometimes hold a hal, a plow, to plowing the fields. Although mostly he was performing pastimes with Krishna and the Gopas, and very wonderful loving exchange and playing and not working very hard. He's the Supreme Lord also, direct expansion of Krishna. But still, because they are Gopas, son of Nanda Baba, so therefore he has a plow also sometimes, in play also. Namaste Mushala Yudan, that is a mushal also, that is a pestle to grind the spices. Sometimes he's carrying that. And then, so as we know, so his eternal consent is Revati, and then also Bhaktavatsalaha is very, very kind and merciful to the devotees. Namaste Dharani Dhara. Dharani, that means Mother Earth. Dhara, Mother Earth, Prithvi Devi, she's holding everything. Therefore she is known as Dharani. And he is Dharani Dhara. He is holding Mother Earth in the form of Anantashesh. Namaste Balanam Shrestha. Balanam, those who are strong, his name is Balaram. Of those who are strong, his Shrestha is the most exalted, is the best of all strong people. And so, Pralambrasura. So, and he killed also one demon called Pralambasura. And then for Krishna, there are also so many prayers. Nama Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmanitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaham. We offer obeisances to Krishna, to Govinda, who is Nama Brahmane Devaya, who is worshipped by all the Brahmanas actually. And even the Devatas, they are offering respect to Krishna. Go Brahmanitaya Cha. And he's always acting also for the welfare of the Brahmanas, the cows. Jagaditaya, and he's acting for the benefit of the whole world by speaking Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna wants, he's performing his pastimes to attract the conditioned souls. So, Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Padale Vaksastale Kaustabam Nasagre Varamuktidam Karatale Venu Kare Kankanam Sarvangari Chandanam Solitam Kante Chamuktavali Gopaste Pariveshtato Vijayate Gopala Choramani. So a very famous verse in Braj, practically all the Braj buses there, they know this verse. That Kasturi Tilakam, on his forehead, Krishna has a beautiful tilak. Not like ours, usually it is just a dot. Kasturi Tilakam, taking from the deer. The Kasturi, which is a musk, the musk from the male, from the deer, which is very fragrant. But Krishna's body is completely, even without musk, without the Kasturi, he is fragrant. But still this is adding to his fragrance. So the tilak is there, made with chandan and mixed with kasturi on his forehead. Lalata patale vaksastale kaustubam. On his chest he has the kaustuba mani, which is beautiful jewel with an imprint of the cows or the calf's hoof. Nasagre vanamuktitam. Here he has a pearl here in front of his nose. Nasagre Varamuktidam, the best of the pearls. Karatale, karatale, venu. Kara means the hand, tale, and the hand, the palm of the hand. He is holding the venu, the flute. Kankanam, he has bangles here. And then, and Muktavali, he's adorned with a beautiful pearl necklace. And his mother, or sometimes the gopis, are anointing him with with chandan. Gopas tri parivestitu, and is surrounded by the gopis. So we remember the best of all the gopas, Gopala Churamani. And so there are so many prayers and glorification of Krishna. From the Srimad Bhagavatam also, Barhapitam Natavaravavakanaya Kanikaram Vipadvasanakapasham Bhajantim Chamalam Randram Venu Sodarya Puragopa Vrindair Sapadaramanam Pavishad Kirti Kirti. The Krishna Balram, they're entering the forest. When they're coming back also, they're playing the flute. And Krishna is a peacock feather in his crown or in the turban. And he's wearing a beautiful Vaijantimala forest, a garland made of 5 kinds of flowers. And Kanikara, he has some blue color Kanikara flower, sometimes only one over 1 year. So it is a very beautiful scene when he's there accompanied by the Gopas, by his friends, and the cows and the calves, and he's playing the flute very beautifully, attracting everyone. And of course for Srimati Radharani also there are many prayers, and even for Krishna, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagatpade Gope Shagavika Ganta Radha Kanta Namastude. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu, you are an ocean of mercy. Dina Bandhu, you're the friend of those who are very fallen, destitute. Karuna Kaiku, Sindhu, you are an ocean of mercy. Gopesha, you are the Lord of the Gopas. Gopika Kanta, you are the beloved of the Gopikas, the Gopis. And Radha Kanta, and you are the beloved of Srimati Radharani. And many prayers are there for Srimati Radharani. Famous one, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Brijabhanu Sade Devi Pranamami Hari Priya, offering obeisances to Srimati Radharani, whose form is very beautiful, golden complexion. She is known as Vrindavaneshwari, the goddess of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Brijabhanu Sute Devi, the daughter, the darling daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. Hari Priya, she is known as Hari Priya, or Sham Priya, Damodar Priya, Krishna Priya. She is very dear to Krishna, to Sham Sundar, to Govinda. So many verses are there in glorification of Srimati Radharani also. Govinda Nandini Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva Sarvakanta Shiromani. Govinda Nandini Radha. So she's giving pleasure to Govinda. Govinda Mohini, she's even bewildering Krishna by her wonderful love. So Sarvakanta Shiromani, she's the best, she's the foremost of all the goddesses of fortune, of all the gopis. Because she's most beautiful and she's most expert in satisfying Krishna's senses. Bhajami Radham Arivindra Netram Smarami Radham Varudasmidasyam Varami Radham Karunabharadram Tato Mama Nastir Kapi. Bhajami Radham Arivindra Netram. I worship Srimati Radharani, who has beautiful eyes like lotus petals. Smarami Radham Madhurasmidasyam. I remember Srimati Radharani, who is smiling very beautifully. Vadami Radham Karunabharadram. And I'm glorifying Srimati Radharani, who is an ocean of mercy. In my life I know nothing except Srimati Radharani. So many beautiful prayers are there. Radha Kripa Kataksha Stotram Munindra Vinda Vandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vakta Pankaja Nikunjabu Vilasini Brajendra Banu Nandini Brajendra Sonu Sangate Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. We pray for the sidelong glance of the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And all the great Munindra Vinda Vandite, all the great Munis, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they are offering prayers to Srimati Radharani. She's engaged in wonderful loving exchanges with the son of Nanda Baba, Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Sareshwari, Sureshwari, Triveda Bharadishwari, Pramana Shasaneshwari, Rameshwari, Kshameshwari, Pramoda Kananeshwari, Brajeshwari, Brajadipesi, Radhike Namastute. So these are so many beautiful verses which we may recite in front of the deities.
Although there is no such rule to do japa, but still, does the place cleanliness matter when doing 16 rounds?
Yes, it is mentioned we may chant the holy names at any time, at any place. Even, for example, at night time we go to take rest and then we sleep, and maybe night time we have to go to the bathroom to pass water. Even at that time we can get up and just chant the holy names. Or we can, so there is no harm, there are no hard and fast rules. Even while taking prasadam we can chant the holy names. We can walk and we can chant the holy names. Even we have to sometimes, let's say we have to go to Delhi and it's not so clean, Delhi, but still so much pollution is there, and even sometimes dirty places are there, of course, even in Vrindavan. And so sometimes we can see some dirty places, but still we can chant the holy names. And we can be protected by chanting the holy names and benefited. At the same time, we should also, in order to do our japa nicely and become completely absorbed in chanting the holy names, we should be in a good environment, and we should have taken bath, we should put on clean clothes, we should offer some prayers to Guru, Gauranga and Krishna, to the holy names, and then peacefully we should try to chant the holy names in a sanctified place, in a good environment, in the association of the devotees, and then it will be easier to chant nicely.
Should we seek for attachment to devotees or association of devotees?
Should we seek attachment or association? We should have the association of the devotees, and then also it is good to be attached to the advanced devotees, the spiritual master, the Mahatmas, the Mahapurush. If we attach to them, that will be helpful. Then we will get also by remembering them, because if one is attached to them, then one will remember them also. By remembering them, then actually their consciousness will come in our heart also. Their mood will come in our heart, so that will be beneficial. So we should be attached to the pure devotees, we should associate with the pure devotees. And in general, we should try to be in the association of the devotees, general devotees also. At the same time also, of course, for example, if one is a family person, one has the wife and the children, so some attachment is natural, and it is actually required that the parents should be a little attached to the child, and then they should take care of the child nicely. At the same time, we should not be overly attached to family members on the material platform, but we should be transcendentally situated and try to see the soul, and try to be attached to the pure devotees, and then that will be more helpful. Otherwise, because there is a very fine line, because the spiritual platform and the material platform, so we have to be a little careful, and we have to see that our attachment is towards the pure devotees and towards Krishna, rather than anything of this world. Although we may have our house, our family, and some attachment is natural, and there's no harm, but Krishna should be in the center, and then that is a proper attachment. But if the attachment is more towards the family, towards the house, and less towards Krishna, then means we are not yet advanced yet. So, but it is better to be attached to Krishna fully, and then some attachment may be there to the house and family, and then there's no harm.
What to do if God is to be found in human life?
What to do if God is to be found in human life? It is not very clear, and the question. We may see that the Supreme Lord, it is His transcendental form, which is Naravat. So therefore it is known as Naravat Lila. It appears to be just like human form, Krishna's form. But Krishna's form is transcendental, Satchidananda Vigraha. And But that is his eternal form as a Gopa, or even as the king of Dwarka, as Ramchandra Bhagavan. So, and actually it is also mentioned that the human form is made after the image of God. So it is not that the Lord is after the image of the human being. It is the opposite. The human being, the human form, is the image, or it is perverted reflection of the transcendental forms in the spiritual world, from Krishna and his associates, or the different expansions of Krishna. The reality, Vasta Vastu, the real reality, that is the spiritual realm, the spiritual form. And here the material form, the material world, is simply a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So we have to see it properly and understand this properly.
Prayers by Kunti Mata to Lord Krishna.
Prayers by Kunti Mata to Lord Krishna. Yes, these are beautiful prayers which may be recited also. Kunti Devi, so she understood the position, of course, of Krishna as a Supreme Lord, but then there's a relationship there also of Krishna with, in the sense of the pastimes of the Lord. And so these prayers are helpful of Kunti Devi. They may be chanted also. But if you want to go to Braj, then we should try to chant the verses by the Acharyas who are Brijabasis, who have come in the form as teachers to show us how to develop Braj Bhakti. So Kunti Devi, she is associate of Krishna in Dwarka.
In Sridham Vrindavan, everyone has already had the opportunity to worship according to the sanction. But why do the devotional behaviors of some devotees become omnipotent, and the demoniac tendencies such as theft, lying, blasphemy, etc. of the devotee in Vrindavan so come to mind with endless questions? Please let me know what is the solution.
Read again.
In Sridham Vrindavan, everyone has the opportunity to worship according to the Lord's desire. But why do the devotional behavior of some devotees become, I guess, not so much visible, and other demonic tendencies such as theft, lying, blasphemy, etc. become more visible? So how to deal with this? What is the solution?
Yes, so those who are staying in Vrindavan Dham, they are very fortunate. And so there's a great opportunity to very nicely advance in spiritual life. At the same time, so the holy Dham is completely transcendental, but there's a Maya covering. The external energy is there on the surface of the holy Dham. And so as devotees practicing, so we have to be under good guidance, we have to be always engaged in devotional activities, and so in order to be protected. So, but if one is not in good association, so then there's a chance that one will be misguided, one will be under modes of material nature, and then these tendencies may be there, as said, that sometimes you can see devotees are criticizing other devotees are engaged in illicit activities, so which is not to be done, which is sinful in the holy Dham. But that is due to the external energy, to the modes of material nature, especially mode of passion and ignorance, Rajagun and Tamagun. And this is due to not having sufficient good association. So in order to overcome these difficulties, one has to be in good association, sadhu sangha, sato vrite, one has to be in the association of the advanced devotees, and then one can be properly engaged in devotional activities, then one can be protected from these sinful activities, from improper behavior, from not proper mentality or consciousness.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Should we ask Krishna to help us to rise in bhakti, or he knows everything and he will provide automatically? Like, can we ask, please give me association of such and such devotee?
Yes, actually, Krishna is always ready to help us. And it is mentioned, if you take one step towards Krishna, he will take 10 steps or 100 steps even towards us. At the same time, so although Krishna, just like a father, is taking care of the child or the mother, and the child just wants to play, but the parents are taking care, mother will call him for eating, will give him a bath and everything. So, but then eventually the child is growing up and then he has to also endeavor. For example, studying. So the parents will say, you go to school. The teacher will say, you study. And they will help. They will give all help, but then the child has to study also. Similarly, Krishna is ready to help us in so many ways by sending the spiritual master from within heart, giving instructions and supplying whatever we need, materially speaking also. But we have to make also conscious endeavor. And we have to think, let me try to be properly engaged in spiritual activities, in devotional service. Let me try to become free from all material consciousness and activities. Let me advance in spiritual life more and more. Let me become a pure devotee. So we have to endeavor also. Krishna is helping even without our asking and without our endeavoring, but still we have to endeavor also. Both has to be there. Our endeavor and the mercy of Krishna, both are required.
So it is correct to ask that, please Krishna, provide me association of such and such devotees.
Yes, it is good to ask. We can ask the Supreme Lord, please give me the association of one of your pure devotees so I can advance more easily in spiritual life.
Hare Krishna. Can a Brahmin join military?
Can a Brahmin join military? Well, military, that means kshatriya, warfare, soldier. But still it may be there if one is done, because even in the military you need teachers also. And for example, even actually for the military there's a need also of giving some spiritual guidance. When we have Vana ashram, even the kshatriyas, they need spiritual guidance. And they have to understand that they are not the body. They have to hear about the Supreme Lord. They have to do some bhajan. Even in the army actually, they should. And so for that purpose also, some teachers are required there. So Brahmana is a teacher. And so even in the military, I don't know if they have, but they should have also some temples. In every military camp, there should be a temple and should be worshipped there, and everyone should go to the temple and worship the Lord, and then they may fight against the enemy. So the Brahmanas, they should also be encouraged to join the army, but they should engage in the worship of the Lord, and they should give knowledge to the soldiers, to the kshatriyas, and even sometimes there's a need of doing sacrifice for the well-being of everyone. So for that we actually also need Brahmanas in the army also. That is required. How much it is there, I don't know. Even in the schools, there's, of course the teachers are there, but there should be some spiritual culture should be there, spiritual teaching should be there, which is many times lacking. And even most probably in the army it is also lacking. But something should be there, but the more the better.
Sometimes the thought comes in mind that others have so much service to Krishna and his devotees I don't have. I will not be able to please him. Please enlighten how to deal with it.
Yes, it is always healthy to think that I'm not doing enough seva, I don't have the opportunity to serve the Lord and the devotees. But at the same time, we should endeavor to serve the Lord and the devotees. And although we may not have so much opportunity for some reason, but if we have the desire, Krishna will make some arrangement that we can serve the Lord and we can serve the devotees.
What if we get more attached to devotees of Krishna than Krishna himself?
Yes, in the beginning actually, there's no harm if you are more attached to the devotee than Krishna. Because in the beginning we don't have a relationship with Krishna. But by having a relationship with the devotee, especially the advanced devotees, when we are touched with the advanced devotees, when we have the relationship with the advanced devotees, by the mercy of the advanced devotees, then slowly but surely then our attachment to Krishna will also come. Because through attachment to the Guru, or to the devotees, that will lead to attachment to Krishna by their mercy. But in the beginning it is no harm, it is more love for Guru and Vaishnava. Okay, 12 o'clock. Any more question? So today only English questions, no Hindi, no problem. Or something else? Okay, we stop. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sisi Gaunitai ki, Sisi Krishna Balaram ki, Sisi Radha Shama Sundar.